everybody, it's Kurt. I'm here with my contribution for Musically Mine in 2022. I hope you are all doing well. Before I go on, I want to let you know that this song contains a slur, and it is a blanket criticism of the United States and Canadian federal governments and the federal policing power in both countries. So if hearing a criticism of that or hearing a slur will bother you, I suggest skipping this video. As a performer and a fan of music, I've always been more interested in a song or a good songwriter. It's not that I don't have favorite bands, I'm just more interested in a well-written song. And I always like songs that have a message or require some level of intellectual vigor to figure them out. So my choice for today is by a Canadian hardcore band called Propagandhi. The title comes from a writing by activist Mumia Abu-Jamal, who was convicted of killing a police officer in 1981. I came across this song while DJing at CFXU in Canada. The version that came across my desk while I was there was by a band called the Magnificent Sevens, a bluegrass band from Winnipeg. The version I'm playing today is more like their arrangement of the song. I think this is a great protest song in the North American folk tradition because it traces historical stories and it takes the side of the common man. The song is an anti-federalist, anti-police state song. That's the stance. And the lyric presents the people as indigenous North Americans as well as US and Canadian citizens bound together in a persistent battle with federal power and the police state. So it makes the claim that popular attitudes toward federal governments aren't born out of a love for the system, but more out of just the constant repetition of pro-federalist tropes by the powerful who benefit from the status quo. My favorite lyric in the song: sometimes the ties that bind us are strange. No justice shines upon the cemetery plots marked Hampton Weaver or Anna May, where federal bureaus and fraternal orders are permanent features built into these borders. The lyric refers to radically different people from the United States and Canada who found themselves at the business end of federal power. The songwriters don't really make a distinction regarding politics or sovereign status or sexuality or religion. They just say the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. So at this point, I'd like to point out that the song contains a line that describes a historic attitude that some authority figures and their supporters in the United States and Canada have held towards LGBTQ people, the left, and religious minorities. The line contains a slur that is used by bigots against gay people, and I considered editing the word out, but I decided in the end that it wouldn't be in keeping with the spirit of the song. So I'm going to sing this word for a couple of reasons. One is that the songwriters are pro-LGBTQ and they chose the word carefully, and I wouldn't dream of changing their intention by leaving it out or substituting another word. And second, it's a brief but powerful mention of the LGBTQ community's place in this larger narrative, considering that LGBTQ people have historically borne the brunt of federal and police power, whether it's the Lavender or Red Scare or Stonewall, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, transgender military bans, or more recently, Don't Say Gay. It would be a great disservice to the LGBTQ community to leave them out of the song, or to sugarcoat their experience. So for those reasons, I'm going to say the word. So if you think it might be hurtful to hear me say this word, again, I encourage you to skip the performance. Anyway, so here it is: today's empires, tomorrow's ashes. tangled web they weave spans from Pine to Ruby Ridge, way up from Shays to Feet, on down to Gustafson. Now cue the aspirate of ditto heads and commissars, drowning out the faintest threat of commie faggot heretics. Nail that sticks up, gets hammered down, and master's finest, his finest tools are found, slack-jawed, placid, amidst the cacophony of screaming billboards, Disney-fied history. Sometimes the ties that bind us are strained. No justice shines upon the cemetery plots marked Hampton Weaver or Anime, where federal bureaus and fraternal orders have cast their shadows, permanent features built into these borders. And under cover of the customary gap we find between history and truth, the founding fathers bask in the rocket's blinding red glare and bombs bursting in air. One nation indivisible. The truth is, when backcountry learned of ratification, the people had a coffin painted black. Then solemnly borne in a funeral procession, they buried it deep in the earth as an emblem of their dissolution and internment of their public liberties. Someday, somewhere, today's empires are tomorrow's ashes.